Clarissa Shields has an Olympic gold medal, a boxing title and 1 million followers. And her own cousin is dragging her name through an IHOP breakfast menu at 8 o'clock in the morning. Baby, that is not family drama. That is a national emergency. The cup is full, honey. Let's spill it. Welcome back to Tea with Stella, where the tea is always hot and we never water it down. Everything discussed in this video is based on publicly available information. Now baby, let's get into it. Shalita is Clarissa's cousin, the woman who claims she raised her, taught her to fight, and built the confidence that took Clarissa all the way to the Olympics. And today she is back. But before we get into Shalita, Remy Ma just posted shade on Facebook, and there are new rumors swirling that Papoose is allegedly dealing with Cuhdeejah, the Wind Records CEO's own daughter. By the end of this video, you are going to question everything about who built Clarissa Shields and who is currently destroying her one IHOP live at a time. Are we witnessing the final rounds of a legendary athletic legacy? Or is this entire circle intentionally running her brand straight into the ground for a quick internet check? The numbers simply are not adding up, and the people who claim they love her are the exact ones handing out the matchsticks. Grab your mugs and sit down tightly because we are completely unpacking the hidden contracts, the ringside betrayals, and the morning breakfast live that changed everything. Let us start right at the epicenter of this absolute disaster because the players in this game are moving in ways that defy all logic and respect. We are talking about Clarissa Shields, a woman who literally fought her way out of Flint, Michigan, conquered the world stage twice, and holds titles that most fighters cannot even look at without getting dizzy. But instead of her name being spoken in the same breath as legendary sports icons, it is being dragged through the digital mud alongside reality television energy. The main players in this unfolding tragedy are Clarissa herself, her longtime partner Papoose, the iconic rap queen Remy Ma, a new mysterious entity named Cuhdeejah, and the ultimate loose cannon of this entire situation, Clarissa's own cousin Shalita Savage. The bad reputation and the dark clouds surrounding this entire circle did not just appear overnight out of thin air. For months, the public has been watching with absolute bewilderment, as Clarissa completely shifted her focus from the training ring to the comment sections, defending a relationship structure that has left the entire internet scratching their heads. People have been whispering behind closed doors about the glaring lack of major corporate endorsements for a woman of her historic caliber. You have to ask yourself how a living legend, a multi-time undisputed champion who literally changed the rules of Olympic boxing, does not have her face plastered on every major sports drink, sneaker brand, and luxury watch billboard across the globe. The answer becomes terrifyingly clear when you look at the company she keeps and the unending, chaotic public relations nightmares that seem to follow her entourage wherever they go. The reputation of this circle is so deeply compromised that mainstream brands are allegedly running in the opposite direction, terrified of being dragged into a messy, late-night social media feud or a morning live stream breakdown. The tension in this situation reached an absolute boiling point when the ultimate betrayal came from the exact place it hurts the most, inside her own family circle. When your enemies attack you, you can put your guard up and block the punches, but when your own bloodline decides to go live from a public restaurant to dismantle your entire existence, there is no defense mechanism in the world that can save your public image. Shalita Savage did not choose a professional platform, she did not wait for a controlled environment, and she certainly did not care about the collateral damage to Clarissa's professional career. By doing this, she signaled to the entire world that the internal structure protecting Clarissa Shields has completely collapsed. This past incident of family resentment has exposed a massive, deep-seated rot that has apparently been festering for years behind the scenes while Clarissa was busy winning gold medals. It intensifies the suspense to an unbearable degree because every single person watching that live stream knew that once those words left Shalita's mouth, the legendary aura of the JW was being chipped away piece by piece over a plate of pancakes. The public is left wondering how many more family secrets are waiting to be weaponized, and how much lower this narrative can possibly sink before someone finally steps in to save what is left of this historic legacy. The absolute lack of boundaries within her inner circle has created a breeding ground for wild speculation, making it impossible for the public to separate the sports champion from the tabloid headline. To make matters infinitely worse, the timeline of this disaster intersects directly with the ongoing, highly volatile marital drama between Papoose and Remy Ma. For years, Papoose and Remy were viewed as the gold standard of hip-hop relationships, a symbol of unyielding loyalty and mutual respect through the toughest of times. So when Clarissa's name became heavily associated with Papoose amidst rumors of an unspoken separation between the hip-hop couple, the internet went into an absolute frenzy. The reputation of everyone involved was instantly thrown into question, with critics accusing Clarissa of compromising her dignity for a storyline that does not serve her athletic greatness. The public has watched in real time as Clarissa seemingly allowed herself to be positioned as a talking point in a rap drama, effectively lowering her status from a global sports phenom to a subject of casual gossip on gossip blogs. This specific background is crucial because it explains exactly why the current explosion with Shalita Savage and the introduction of Cuhdeejah is so incredibly damaging. It is not an isolated incident. It is the continuation of a downward spiral where a legendary athlete is consistently found in the middle of scenarios that are completely beneath her tax bracket and her historical achievements. The suspense builds with every passing hour as fans and critics alike try to figure out whether Clarissa is a willing participant in this brand destruction, or if she is simply surrounded by master manipulators who know exactly how to leverage her fame for their own personal visibility. The entrance of Cuhdeejah into this equation has completely shattered whatever stability was left in this entire narrative, introducing a level of corporate and personal entanglement that is genuinely chilling. Cuhdeejah is not just a random bystander or a social media influencer looking for a quick moment of fame. She is the daughter of the high-powered CEO of Wind Records, the very label that holds massive influence and contractual power over the musical landscape. The rumors swirling around her and Papoose have introduced a dark, conspiratorial layer to the drama that goes far beyond a simple case of infidelity or a messy breakup. We are talking about allegations of elite manipulation where business contracts, personal relationships, and athletic legacy are all being mixed into one highly toxic cocktail. The public is desperately trying to figure out how a young woman with that kind of industry backing ended up in such close, familiar proximity to Papoose, especially at an event that was supposed to be entirely dedicated to Clarissa's athletic prowess. The implications of this connection are massive and incredibly unsettling, because it suggests that the people Clarissa trusts with her career and her personal life might be operating on an entirely different agenda behind her back. This is the kind of bad reputation that cannot be scrubbed away with a standard public relations statement or a generic press release. It is a deeply complex, multi-layered crisis that has left the entire entertainment and sports world completely paralyzed with anticipation, waiting to see what the next leaked report or late-night social media post will reveal about who is really pulling the strings in this chaotic situation. What makes this introduction so incredibly captivating and terrifying for the fans is the absolute silence coming from Clarissa's official management team, while her brand is being actively dismantled on multiple fronts. When a prominent figure faces this level of public scrutiny, you normally see an immediate, coordinated effort to control the damage, silence the detractors, and redirect the conversation back to their professional achievements. But in this case, there is nothing but an eerie, deafening silence that only serves to intensify the suspense and validate the wildest theories circulating on the internet. It gives the impression that the camp is completely overwhelmed, split into opposing factions, or worse, that the allegations being made by Shalita Savage and the rumors surrounding Cuhdeejah have a strong element of truth to them. Every single hour that passes without a definitive, powerful response from Clarissa herself allows the narrative to grow more monstrous and uncontrollable. The public is consuming every piece of information with a sense of morbid curiosity, watching a historic legacy being treated like a cheap reality show plotline. The gravity of the situation cannot be overstated because we are no longer just talking about a temporary social media trend. We are witnessing the potential permanent devaluation of one of the greatest athletic careers in modern human history. The stage is completely set for an absolute catastrophe. The pieces are all moving rapidly across the board, and the main subject of this controversy appears to be completely trapped in a web of her own making, unable to escape the very drama she helped cultivate. The sheer audacity of the players involved in this scandal is what keeps the audience completely locked in, unable to look away from the impending train wreck. You have a rap icon like Remy throwing calculated, dismissive shade from a platform like Facebook, treating the entire situation like an absolute joke. You have a family member exposing deep personal traumas and financial vulnerabilities over a breakfast table in real time to thousands of viewers. And you have whispers of corporate executives and their family members encroaching on the personal life of a champion boxer, while she is literally in the locker room preparing to put her physical health on the line for a paycheck. It is a scenario so wildly chaotic and dramatic that if you wrote it into a movie script, people would say it is too unrealistic to believe. Yet, here it is, playing out in real time across our phone screens, leaving everyone to question the true motives of every single person in Clarissa's immediate circle. The suspense is at an all-time high because the transition from the introduction of these characters to the actual gritty breakdown of the alleged investigative findings is where the real horror of this situation begins to show its face, exposing the absolute depths of the manipulation and betrayal taking place behind the glamorous curtain of fame. Now let us dive headfirst into the dark, gritty underworld of these alleged investigative findings, because what is being whispered by industry insiders and anonymous sources will make your stomach turn. We are talking about leaked group chats, anonymous industry reports, and deeply unsettling receipts that suggest the financial and personal infrastructure behind the GW8 is completely falling apart. Rumors are circulating furiously behind closed doors that while Clarissa is focused on protecting a messy love square, her financial accounts are allegedly being treated like an open buffet by the people she has chosen to trust. According to highly placed inside sources who speak under the strict condition of absolute anonymity, major corporate sponsors have completely halted multi-million-dollar contract negotiations that were set to elevate her brand into the luxury elite stratosphere. The reason given in these leaked corporate memos is not her performance inside the boxing ring, but the extreme liability of her immediate entourage. These brands are terrified of the erratic, uncontrolled environment that seems to follow her, especially with family members willing to drop explosive, unvetted financial secrets on social media platforms at any given hour of the day. The level of alleged mismanagement and financial manipulation being whispered about is truly staggering. Paint a picture of a legendary athlete being actively drained, while she is completely distracted by internet drama. Insiders claim that large sums of money meant for brand development, professional PR training, and global marketing strategies are mysteriously vanishing into the pockets of an untrusted inner circle that would rather see her trending for reality show antics than standing on a global corporate pedestal. There are even whispers of a hidden corporate trap involving Wind Records, where business contracts and personal relationships are becoming so deeply entangled that it is impossible to see where the business ends and the exploitation begins. Anonymous production sources from her recent events have alleged that people connected directly to the label have been acting as if they own her entire professional space, dictating who gets access to her, while simultaneously manipulating her personal security and emotional well-being behind the scenes. This is not just standard industry greed. This is an alleged systematic, slow-motion corporate takeover of an individual's identity and physical labor, executed by people who know exactly how to use her emotional vulnerabilities against her. The public reaction to these brewing storm clouds has been an absolute mix of deep sorrow, explosive outrage, and mocking laughter across every major digital platform. Over on X, formerly known as Twitter, the trending topics are a complete warzone of hot takes, with prominent cultural commentators pointing out the staggering double standard of her current position. Fans are screaming into the digital void, asking how a literal living legend can allow herself to be reduced to a talking point for people who have never stepped foot inside an athletic arena. The comment sections under the gossip blogs are flooded with thousands of reactions from everyday people who are completely fascinated by the sheer disrespect of the situation. Some users are writing that she has completely lost the champion's mentality, claiming that you would never see a male undisputed champion letting his cousin dismantle his legacy over breakfast food, while his alleged partner is spotted with another executive's daughter at ringside. The general consensus among the public is rapidly shifting from admiration for her athletic historic feats to a feeling of deep embarrassment for the chaotic, reality television trajectory her public image has taken over the past several weeks. To make matters even more chaotic, the internet sleuths have begun digging up older, unverified leaks that seem to perfectly align with the devastating claims being made by her cousin Shalita Savage. Old, alleged text message exchanges between Clarissa and former close associates have resurfaced, showing a pattern of extreme defensiveness and a total refusal to listen to anyone who tries to warn her about the wolves in sheep's clothing surrounding her career. These unverified receipts suggest that any time someone in her life tries to bring up financial discrepancies, missing funds, or the toxic nature of her romantic associations, they are immediately met with legal threats, social media blocks, and a total digital smear campaign. The public is looking at these older patterns and matching them up with Shalita's current explosive claims, concluding that the structure has been compromised for a very long time, and we are only now seeing the external walls cave in. The narrative has become so toxic that even her most die-hard, long-term supporters are starting to quietly delete their defensive posts, unable to find a logical justification for the ongoing circus that has completely overshadowed her legendary sports career. The absolute climax of this breakdown is the staggering visual of the ringside betrayal involving Cuhdeejah that has everyone questioning the true dynamics of the power structure behind the scenes. Anonymous eyewitnesses who were stationed near the VIP section during that high-stakes event have claimed that the comfort level between Papoose and the record executive's daughter was not a sudden, random occurrence, but looked like an established, highly familiar routine. These sources claim that while Clarissa was locked away in the back focusing on the brutal physical reality of her upcoming match, her immediate circle was allegedly treating the front row like a personal playground, completely unbothered by the optics of their behavior or the potential emotional devastation it could cause the headlining athlete. The fact that this happened in a building funded by Clarissa's own blood, sweat, and physical trauma is what has the public completely losing their minds with fury. It paints a picture of supreme disrespect where the literal provider of the platform is being completely marginalized at her own event, while the people feeding off her success are already building bridges to their next lucrative corporate situations. This deep breakdown of the alleged investigative findings reveals an environment that is so fundamentally broken that it seems almost impossible to fix with standard public relations strategies. You have an elite athlete who has achieved things that will literally stand in the record books forever, yet her daily reality is being dictated by late-night group chat leaks, public restaurant exposes, and backroom industry deals that do not have her best interests at heart. The contrast between her historic greatness and the utter pettiness of her immediate surroundings is the exact reason why the entire internet cannot look away from this disaster. Every single piece of information that drops seems to validate the worst fears of her true fans, making it blindingly obvious that this situation is moving toward a massive, unavoidable breaking point that will have severe consequences for everyone involved, pushing this entire saga from a messy social media topic into a full-blown professional and legal crisis that will force the hand of major industry gatekeepers. This brings us directly to the terrifying reality of the fallout, the consequences, and the impending professional ruin that is staring this entire circle dead in the face. What we are looking at right now is not a minor public relations hiccup that can be brushed under the rug with a heartfelt apology or a strategic donation to a local charity. The level of exposure that occurred over that breakfast table at IHOP, combined with the corporate and romantic entanglements of Wind Records and Papoose, has triggered a massive multi-layered crisis that is currently drawing the attention of major industry executives, athletic committees, and legal sharks who smell blood in the water. Rumors are already swirling that high-powered corporate lawyers are reviewing the promotional contracts signed between Clarissa Shields and her current representation, looking for any possible breach of morality clauses that could completely invalidate her future earnings. When you allow your brand to be dragged down into an alleged side-chick narrative, and your own family members are accusing your team of acting like modern-day predatory managers, the corporate entities backing your events are legally obligated to protect their own assets. The financial backlash from this entire situation is poised to be absolutely catastrophic for anyone relying on Clarissa's historic name to cash a check. Inside sources are hinting that major sports networks are quietly reassessing their television broadcast deals for her upcoming matches, deeply concerned that the promotional press conferences will devolve into a chaotic reality television screaming match about Papoose, Remy and Cuhdeejah rather than the elite display of sports excellence that fans pay to see. We could be witnessing the early stages of a complete economic blacklisting, where sports promoters refuse to touch her events due to the extreme personal liability surrounding her inner circle. If the television networks pull back, and the major arena sponsors refuse to let her headline their buildings, the multi-million-dollar empire built on her physical pain and athletic dominance will literally evaporate into thin air, leaving her completely stranded in a desert of her own making. The public is holding its breath, waiting for the first major corporate resignation, or the sudden cancellation of a highly anticipated fight card, which would signal that the corporate infrastructure has officially pulled the plug on the GW8. But the consequences do not stop at the financial balance sheets, because the deep psychological and personal fallout of this family betrayal is going to leave permanent scars that no amount of money can ever heal. The image of a cousin declaring to thousands of live viewers that Clarissa is being systematically drained by parasites and will eventually end up like a tragic movie character is a narrative that will follow her for the rest of her natural life. It completely strips away the aura of the unstoppable champion and replaces it with the image of a vulnerable, isolated individual who has been completely separated from the people who actually protected her when she had nothing. The internet backlash has intensified to a level where fans are demanding a total internal housecleaning, begging Clarissa to fire every single person currently managing her career, distance herself from the rap drama completely, and return to the roots that made her a global phenom at 17 years old. But with allegations of airtight contracts and deeply embedded personal relationships controlling her movements, the public is starting to realize that escaping this web might be legally and emotionally impossible for her at this stage in the game. The ultimate tragedy of this entire saga is the impending permanent devaluation of a historic legacy that should have been protected at all costs by the people who claim to love her. Every single headline that focuses on who Papoose was spotted with at ringside, or what slick comment Remy posted on Facebook, is a direct insult to the years of sacrifice, broken bones, and sweat that took Clarissa to the absolute top of the Olympic podium. The culture is watching a living legend allow her name to be used as a promotional tool for an independent record label and a messy love triangle, effectively rendering her a hostage to other people's desire for digital clout and algorithmic visibility. The anticipation is building to a fever pitch as the daily notifications drop, because everyone knows that the current state of silence cannot hold up much longer under the weight of these massive allegations. The stage is completely set for an absolute institutional collapse within her promotional camp, and when the final gavel falls on this situation, the true cost of prioritizing internet validation over professional dignity will be laid bare for the entire world to witness in agonizing detail. Baby, the tea has officially boiled over, and the kitchen is completely on fire. We have unpacked the hidden contracts, the ringside betrayals, the Facebook shade, and a morning breakfast live at IHOP that completely dismantled a multi-million-dollar athletic empire over a plate of pancakes. Now the ultimate question rests entirely in your hands, and the comment section is about to become an absolute war zone. Do you think Papoose's recent lyrics were a calculated, public rejection of Clarissa? Or is the internet reading way too deep into a standard rap verse? Is her cousin Shalita Savage genuinely trying to save a vulnerable champion from the wolves in her circle? Or is this entire live stream exposed just a vicious, bitter play for personal clout and a quick digital check? And most importantly, can the GWit ever recover her legendary status, or has this circle successfully run her historic legacy straight into the ground? I need you to drop your absolute rawest thoughts in the comments right now because this is way too heavy to process alone. If you want to stay ahead of the game, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. This is a real-time corporate and personal collapse, and you do not want to miss the exact moment the final round drops. I'm Stella, the tea is always hot, and we never water it down. See you in the next video.